We're in London for a very special race. The only place capable of staging this world first. After 2 years planning, we've taken over London City Airport, where we have a pristine runway next to still water. The perfect setting to find out what's fastest, a car, a motorcycle or a boat. We've got Jenson Button and his Formula One car, factory superbike rider Michael Rutter on his Works Fireblade, and champion powerboat racer Steve Curtis in a Formula 4-stroke. All agreed to come and play with Fifth Gear and give us exclusive access. We'll reveal the close-up details you never normally see, and of course find out who's quickest. A straight-line drag over 1/4 mile. What do you think is going to win? Place your bets and join us in a moment. We've commandeered London City Airport for the ultimate showdown between car, bike and boat. Only Honda, the biggest engine builder in the world, makes power for all three, and we've chosen their fastest available motors and leading drivers. At 21, Steve Curtis was the youngest ever Class 1 powerboat world champion, and he's now won it a record-breaking 5 times. Last year, he won the Seagrave Trophy, awarded for outstanding performance in a vehicle on land, sea or air. His name now rightly sits alongside legends like Malcolm Campbell and Stirling Moss. His 225 horsepower boat is made of composite carbon and Kevlar, weighs 1,100 kilograms and can be bought for £50,000.
Eventually roll over.
The boat literally flies across the surface, but it has the worst power-to-weight ratio and takes time to get going, so we're allowing Steve a flying start. Crossing the line flat out could be all the advantage he needs. Michael Rutter is Honda's #1 in the British Superbike Championship. Earlier this year he won a road race hitting 201.1 miles an hour, which looks and sounds like this. His Works Fireblade is totally hand-built and literally a £1 million motorcycle. That's how much it costs to lease just for 1 season. At 161 kilograms, it's the lightest of our competitors, but messing up the start could be downright dangerous.
We've never done anything like this before, but we're out to win.
Our final competitor, and don't mention the contract, is Jenson Button, undoubtedly a future world champion. No expenses spared in the construction of his £5 million car. The only modification his team have made is to slightly raise the ride height, because even an airport runway is bumpy compared to a Grand Prix circuit. But surely trying to get 900 horsepower down will just make the wheels spin.
Which is good.
So that's your runners and riders. Now it's time to race. The boat starts with a simple key because it uses a stock 3.3 litre V6 out of a road car. There's just one gear and, save for a kill switch, about the only extra is a flashing light. To save weight, the Works Fireblade does without a starter motor, so to get it going requires a slave engine and a highly trained engineer. And as for the car, well, starting it requires a small army. First you plug in the hairdryers to keep the radiators cool. Then you gas up the special pneumatic valves. Traditional valve springs don't open and close quickly enough at 18,000 RPM. After the 3-litre V10 finally starts, it's warmed up and revved via a laptop. Then a highly trained engineer performs a shift check to ensure the gearbox is working properly.
We'd like to do a shift check now, please.
Just look at how quickly the gears are selected. It's like using a switch. When everyone's happy, it's over to Jensen.
Radio check, Jensen.
Radio, okay.
And finally, we can all head for the start. When the boat is up to speed and crosses the start line, it will trigger the race. It'll be the best of three, and you've guessed it. Join us in a moment. We're just about to find out what's fastest. A car, a bike, or a boat. It's the best of three, and this is race 1. Rutter makes a mega start and takes just 5.4 seconds to catch the boat. He finishes the quarter mile in 10 seconds, with Button taking 11 and Curtis 13.5. But Jensen has a problem with his car.
There's something wrong with the clutch,
There's a gremlin in the anti-stall system, and the only cure is to turn it off. This time, Button gets a better start and manages to pull away at the halfway point to take the win in 9 seconds. Rutter is 4/10 behind, with Curtis again clocking 13.5 seconds. Car and bike have a win apiece. Who will win the decider? It was an epic battle, and although level for the first 100 metres, as soon as Button could use full power, he streaked away from a wheeling Rutter, with Curtis again finishing 3 seconds behind. The boat may have more power than the bike, but it's simply too heavy to be a threat. Its top speed of 75 miles an hour is massively quick on water, but even crossing the line at full pelt isn't a big enough advantage, although in fairness, it is the only one which comes with a warranty. You may have thought with a contact patch the size of a palm, the bike's problem would have been grip. But a super sticky tyre compound meant there was no wheel spin at all. Instead, the big problem is a tendency to wheelie. On one wheel, you can't use full power without flipping over. The team had lengthened the wheelbase by a few millimetres to try and help, but what's really needed is a chassis about 2 feet longer to shift the weight forward and keep the front down. Although the car is 3 times heavier than the bike, it has 4.5 times the power. But at the start it's even Stevens because the V10 develops most of its grunt at higher revs. At around 100 miles an hour, the aerodynamics take over, pushing the tyres into the ground, allowing Jensen to unleash the full 900 horsepower without fear of wheel spin. To celebrate his win, Jensen kindly demonstrates what would have happened if he'd used full power from the start. His tyres would have been completely overwhelmed. With over 18,000 RPM bouncing off the rev limiter, it's a final fitting flourish for one of the 100 engines Honda will build for the Grand Prix season.